Generation Z no longer cares for pornography, marijuana, video games, or those other forms of escaping reality. Something is changing. We are witnessing young people who reject the mediocrity of the sad boy locked in his room. People tired of seeking anesthesia for a void that never disappears. They have tried everything modernity offered: pleasure, limitless freedom, progressive ideologies, parties, multiple partners, money, digital dopamine, and discovered that none of it fills the emptiness. On the contrary, the more they try to escape, the emptier they feel. And it is precisely at this point that the most unexpected phenomenon of contemporary culture begins. Generation Z is returning to the Catholic Church, and not to a diluted version, but to traditional Catholicism, the expression that demands sacrifice, discipline, and courage. The generation most exposed to lust, individualism, and relativism is turning to the most demanding faith in the West. Why? Because no one can live in emptiness forever. Deep down, these young people have realized that there are only two paths: to live driven by comfort and avoidance, or to choose the way of greatness, effort, and sacrifice. That is why we see a growing interest in solid disciplines such as weight training, jiu-jitsu, and high performance. Yet there is something even more radical in this journey. Catholicism emerges as the final stage of that search. The Christian faith, especially in its traditional form, demands what modernity most detests: sacrifice, responsibility, and truth. Rejecting hedonism and addiction has become an act of rebellion against the system. Religion becomes the antidote to a self-indulgent culture and to a disordered sexual life. The church teaches asceticism, penance, self-control, surrender, and this language of sacrifice, once thought obsolete today, resonates as heroism to those who grew up without references of greatness. Catholicism restores the idea of the hero not as an icon of ego, but as a witness to truth. The young person understands that escaping chaos is not about blaming the world, but about assuming responsibility, facing one's own misery, and fighting for truth. We live in an era dominated by relativism. Everything has been reduced to each with their own truth, and this mindset has destroyed any solid foundation for human life. Generation Z has grown weary of this contemporary affectation of woke culture, of moral infantilization. They want to hear that right is right and wrong is wrong, that order exists, that good and evil exist. Catholicism offers that an objective truth, a clear morality, and a metaphysical foundation that stands firm amidst modern chaos. At the same time, these young people are seeking to recover something they never experienced: tradition. They feel nostalgia for a spiritual heritage that was denied to them. When they encounter Latin, Gregorian chant, sacred architecture, and solemn liturgy, something awakens within. The soul recognizes beauty, even without having known it before. In a world that praises what is disposable, the church reveals what is eternal. Another essential factor is the increasing presence of priests, thinkers, and religious authorities on digital platforms. The internet has granted access to what was once restricted to libraries or seminaries. Today, a young person with a smartphone can listen to a homily from Street, John Vianney, a passage from Fulton Sheen, a teaching from Street Thomas Aquinas, or an in-depth analysis of classical philosophy. Formation has ceased to be privilege and become choice. This movement also represents an escape from modern chaos. Society suffers from a Peter Pan syndrome, where the young resist growing up and fear commitment to family, fatherhood, motherhood, or any real responsibility. Catholicism confronts this directly. While the world promotes a superficial life, faith calls to adulthood, to be a father, to be a mother, to build a home and educate children is seen not as imprisonment, but as a path of dignity. The church restores order, leadership, and the notion that a man is valued by what he resolves, what he protects, and what he gives. Those seeking inner strength and a warrior spirit find direction in the faith. And here comes the decisive turning point. The adult position is simple. If you want to live the faith, just go. Go to Mass, confess your sins, stop waiting for permission. Take responsibility for your soul. Modern culture teaches the outsourcing of guilt and obligations. Catholicism teaches the opposite, extreme ownership. As Jocko Willink puts it, life changes when you change. If you belong to the generation that feels lost, suffocated by emptiness, and by a society that promises pleasure, yet offers no meaning, understand this. The way is not to flee, chase enjoyment, or seek anesthesia. The way is faith, discipline, action. You must be the adult in the room, the one who stops hiding, abandons vice video games, marijuana, pornography, procrastination, and understands that transformation is a radical choice. Church, go home, study, fight. If you cannot wait 10 years to change your life, you will never change it. Do you want out of clown world? Do you want to find the truth? The way is faith, sacrifice, and action. Do not wait to be ready. Do not wait to be completely clean. Do not expect someone to come and fetch you. Rise, go and do what must be done. Whoever seeks truth finds it, and if you have found it, now is the time to live.